the number one family of Rodeo, a combined 9 world championships in the family alone. The Ryder and Wright brothers, not from Milford, Utah anymore, from Beaver, Utah, correct? Yes, the Ryder and Wrights. We got ShaRee, Mama Bear, we got Stetson, we got Ryder, and we got Rusty Wright. Thank you, boys and Mama, for joining us today.
You bet.
Thanks for having us.
Heck yeah, very pumped. We got to watch you here at the NFR, and you know, as a guy that's been in the sport, it was very inspiring for me to see you guys all come together. The skills that you've shown, the championships that you've shown, and at such a young age, it's going to be pretty cool to see where you guys can go from here. You definitely made me a big fan of saddle bronc ride and rodeo in general, and just your guys' families. But what I want to get to first of all, ShaRee, is this guy that's with me, my co-host, Jason Davidson. He represents the Wright family. He's the agent for all the boys and for everybody in the family. How did that come about? Where did that relationship come from?
Jason, where did that come?
Well, that started at the Calgary Stampede, probably. Well, Rusty, what year did you win the novice bronc ride there, Rusty?
14, but the first year I went there, I won second in 2013.
Okay, so it would have been 12 or 13. I was the arena director, and I was, you guys always came up as a family, and that was one of the nice things about Calgary. We camped along the river, and I got to be around Cody a little bit because I was working the shoots at the time for Keith Merrington at the Stampede. And I just remember how Cody carried himself in the arena, and he was so quiet and just did his business. You know, he really did. He just went out and won. And you boys used to be on the back of the chutes. And when you're in the front of the chutes, you know, telling guys to get ready or whatever, you spend some time in front of each chute. And I'll never forget watching you boys watch your dad. That was, I think I used the word, it captivated me, because you guys were students of the game and you really, really paid attention. And I remember I had breakfast with you one time, ShaRee. You cooked me breakfast outside. Evelyn and Bill were there, and it probably took about a year. Well, I was working for Wrangler at the time, and I told Jeff Chadwick, we need to have this guy like Cody Wright. I didn't even know Jesse, Jake, and Spencer yet. And it took about a year. If you recall, Cody wasn't all in on this Wrangler thing at the start. And honestly, that's where you come in, ShaRee, because I think you finally said, Cody, you gotta take this. You gotta do this. And that's really where it started. And that's probably, 2004. So 6 or 7 years ago. And then these boys just would come up to Canada and beat up on all the Canadian kids in the novice events. I think they all won one. And then I met Jake, Jesse, then Spencer comes along, and here we are 7 years later. It's been fun, but I wouldn't have been able to do it without ShaRee. I think ShaRee, you're the one that told your hubby Cody that you need to listen to this guy and let him do some work for you. So I appreciate that. And just so our audience knows, the plan was just to have ShaRee on this week, because we want to reach out to some very unique and special people on this podcast, and you fit the mold perfect. And then your boys went and screwed it all up this week, winning $500,000 and how many? 12 go-rounds, is that right? 12 go-rounds and 3 world buckles. So we thought we better have them on, or our audience might think we were a bit crazy not bringing the greatest rodeo athletes in the world on.
So how was the NFR this year, you guys? Did you obviously enjoyed it, winning all the titles, winning a whole pile of money, but was it different being in Arlington, being at Globe Life Field, than it was at the Thomas and Mack?
Yeah, I thought it was different. The arena was 3 times the size as it was in the Thomas and Mack, and the energy level was different for me, but I enjoyed it.
You just kind of created the energy level every night. Actually, you dictated that, Stetson, but good work on that, by the way.
They really should have bucked bulls before the Bronx this year. bronc riding would have been even better.
Yeah.
Get everybody jacked up.
I agree. It was a great bronc riding. There's no question.
Yeah, what did you guys think? Did you think the horses, like maybe having the shortened year that we had, a lot of those horses didn't go to a bunch of rodeos or travel across the country? Did you think that the horses were better, you know, they were fresher, or what did you guys think of the animal athletes?
You guys.
I thought that it helped some of them, and it might have hurt some of them, because just like horses, some of them buck better the more they buck, just like we ride better the more we get on. But I did notice that Calgary horses, I don't know what they've been doing up there. I don't think they've been getting bucked, but they were all, I can't even think of one Calgary horse that wasn't good. So it helped some horses to not buck, and then it hurts other ones. But
Yeah.
for the most part, I thought everything bucked pretty good. They had more room to circle. They didn't get in the fence. That was nice.
Well, you know what? Another plus for Canada right there. Thanks for the shout out there.
Quick Calgary Stampede shout out. Calgary Stampede shout out. How many of you have won the steer riding or the cow riding at the Calgary Stampede?
I won it in 14, the same year you won it.
13.
13.
No, 14.
Yeah, I won it in 14.
Yeah, awesome. I remember I was riding bulls at that time, and I remember all those kids ride two-handed, and then the right boys come in would ride one-handed and kick ass and take it over. And I remember that I think it was you, Stetson. Yeah, it was just the talk of the town. This young kid that came in and rode the cows that nobody else rode, and probably, I don't even know, high 80-point rides in the cow ride.
Right in the door.
Unheard of.
Right in the
Yeah,
door. Right
yeah.
in the door, and Stetson pulled a foot. I remember. And you boys, it's that we were talking about in the intro before you and the family got on. And Mom, this has got to make you proud. That meme that was going around on social media of Ryder and Rusty on the back of the chutes when Stetson stepped off. Surround yourself with people that want you to win as bad as this. It's if a picture speaks 1,000 words, that was it right there. And I think, I want you to tell me this, ShaRee, but as a mother, that has to make you more proud than any gold buckle ever
sure.
won, eh?
Yeah, I actually told the boys that the night of the last round before they rode. That stuff, the support they have for each other means way more than any amount of money or gold buckle. Although the gold buckle money's nice for them.
That helps too.
But you didn't tell them about the conversations you and I have been having all week about how they better stay on and win those buckles, right?
Right. Or I'm fasting them out of the wheel. No, I didn't let on to that.
We could have very easily had Cody on, and I think we'll have to make sure we have an episode with Cody, because I was telling Tanner, some of the most fun I've had with you guys as a family is when we all cram into one of your pickup trucks outside the Thomas and Mack to head back to the D or to the Tropicana, wherever we were staying, and listening to you guys visit and tell stories about how the night went. Like it's just that side of it that people don't get to see, and what kind of a family you guys really are. And I wanted to go back to the one of your partners, Yeti. We've been working with Yeti now for 4 years, and they did the video. And I watched it again today, and I forget how many hundreds of thousands of views it had on YouTube. And Tanner knows the guys that did the video. They're actually there's some surfer dudes.
Surfer dudes, yeah, the Malloy brothers, the Rabbit's Foot film. Did you guys met them? Yeah, Keith and really cool dude. So they did the film for Ryan Bingham as well. For he had a series where he'd go and talk to other musicians, and they're Yeti ambassadors as well too, and really, really cool dudes. And when I watched that video, it kind of tied it all together, and I thought that was pretty enjoyable. Really good guys.
That video, Mom, you talk about, sorry, and just so our viewers know, I call ShaRee Mom all the time. She's my assistant GM with the boys, and I do call her Mom a lot. I got permission a couple years back to call her that. But you talk in that video about there were no rights. Rights is a plural. It's used in the plural form all the time now. You got Jake, Jesse, Spencer, obviously your boys, Statler coming up. just tell us, like, there was no rights. I want you to take us back, like that clip in the video where you talk about your husband, Cody. He was a skinny kid.
Yeah, these boys, they'll all tell you, they've had lots of opportunities, lots of doors opened because of what their dad did, but he didn't have any of that.
Right.
He just was a young, skinny kid that had a dream and was just determined to make it work. He, had to make a name for himself, and it was hard. And it
I
was
believe
long,
it.
but
What do you think, looking back, if Cody could be on this pod with us, what was harder, him having to leave you at home with 5 kids, or him trying to break through as Cody, who, they didn't know
Right.
who Cody Wright was at that time. So what do you think was the hardest part?
Well, for me, the hardest part was being left at home with the kids. I'm sure for him, I think it was probably equally as hard, both leaving the kids. He missed out on, so much stuff with all the kids, and then having to not get discouraged, having to know that he was good enough and he was going to make it, and just trying to not get discouraged to go home, because he was just a Cody who. So.
I really, I had a good visit with your boy's grandma, Evelyn, at the Tropicana last year during one of your signings. And I didn't know this, but she told me, Cody probably could have won 1 or 2 more buckles if things would have went a little bit better at the gate with a spur out, or how they judged. And, that's one thing that Cody I've never heard that man complain about one thing, not one thing. And I was doing an interview here the other day about your 3 boys and how they all kind of have different traits. And this is, I got to talk about Rusty here, your oldest boy. He is the most positive human I have ever talked to on the phone. He's always ends it with a thank you. It's never anybody's fault. He doesn't put any blame on anybody else. If he doesn't win, his line is, I just didn't ride good enough, or I should have been better, And the one behind you there, Iceman, he's got ice water running through his veins. He's a lot like Cody. And the all-around champ there, I'm not sure where we're going to put him in the category. I don't think he even knows. I think we should just change his Instagram from official Stetson Wright to official badass, because that's just what he is. He's just, when he finally starts shaving full time, I think he's going to be an absolute wrecking ball in 2 rough stock events. So Ryder and Rusty, you guys better get your saddle bronc buckles won here in the next couple of years, because I think Stetson's going to take them all after that.
I ain't done getting better yet either, though. I ain't peaked.
No, I also put that, this is your year here, Rusty. I know it was a kind of a tough year. Well, it's tough when they count that money from the American. Like,
Right.
My comment in the interview I did this week was, for Ryder to only win the world by $38,000, he had to be completely stellar all week, which he was. There was 1 round you didn't place in, and I think everybody thought you were going to be 93 on Womanizer. And when ironically going into the final round, and the guy you're trying to beat has got that same horse, all I could think, I was just hoping that horse had the same day and they marked that horse the same way they marked her for you, and it worked out. But you can't stub your toe one night in 10 days. And that's just a remarkable performance, Ryder. It really was. I don't know. I'd like to know what you guys think about adding $100,000, or maybe put it this way. So it's easier on your agent and your mom and your dad. Should we go to a point system and count the money on the right-hand column, and the point system determines world champions in the left-hand column? What do you guys think about that?
I don't think so. I think I like the money, and I was thinking about this on the drive home yesterday. In the bronc ride, at least, I don't know about the other events, if they wouldn't have counted the American money or whatever, it still would have ended the exact same way it did. So I don't really think the American played that big of a role into it. Ryder and Wyatt just kicked ass all year, and I don't think it would have made that big of a difference. And I don't think the point thing's a good idea. I never have. Sorry if you guys think so, but.
Well, no, it's not I don't have to, it's not my opinion, but you're just going to make me look real bad in my interview I did. So thanks, pal.
Well, I just think it's been money forever, and don't fix what's not broke.
I think it works perfect for you guys, because from what I've been seeing, you guys strive in pressure situations. The more money that's on the line, the better you guys do. So sorry, Jason, but I think your boys need those big money situations, because it don't matter to them. They're going to step up to the plate and knock one out of the park. We've seen it over the last 10 days. So I think it's great how it is for them right now. Obviously, a couple world champions here now.
Yeah. Hey, Mom, we were texting before we got on Zoom here, and you were like, oh, sorry, I was cutting Ryder's hair. What? Tanner was like, no, we want to see the dude.
yeah, keep the flow.
Well, I should have kept the pile of hair that came off his head. It was.
It's sorry, Ryder's pointing to the floor.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I forget where we saw or read, someone had a picture of Ryder and a picture of Jeff Spicoli.
Yeah.
Do you guys know who Jeff Spicoli is? Or are you too young? Mom does.
They all know now because who's that? Who's the picture you guys have? What's his name?
Kenny Barron.
Oh yeah, of course Kenny would know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Quite a resemblance.
That was a really good resemblance. Yeah.
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 I didn't know that. I've seen that guy now that he's older, but I didn't know that was him on that movie.
Sean Penn. Yeah. Have you watched the movie before, kids?
No.
Oh, well, you guys drive a lot. You know what? There's a classic that you should probably throw in and have a few laughs. I think you'd enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of when you're traveling down the road, what do you guys like? What keeps you going besides talking about broncs and bull? Well, do you guys like to talk bulls with Stetson, or is it just horses?
I don't know nothing about bull riding, so I don't talk about bull riding too much.
They know more about bull riding than I do. They're lying. They tell me everything.
Mom, do you remember when I was trying to convince Ryder to get on at least enough times so he could win that all-around title?
Mm-hmm.
Has he thought about it?
Rusty, did you ride bulls as well at all? I seen there's a picture of Cody the other day. One of you guys had on your social medias of him riding a bull. So what's the background on all you guys on your bull riding side of it?
I rode bulls till I was a freshman, and I got hurt real bad at a high school rodeo, and I didn't want to do it anymore. I asked my dad to give me a bronc saddle, and that was the end of my bull riding career. But I won junior high state finals in Utah in the bull riding, and I got hurt before nationals, so I didn't get to go to nationals. But I just kept getting hurt, so
yeah.
I think you made a really good career change, Rusty. Just
yeah, I was gonna
looking at career earnings and where you're at. I think but you do, out of the boys, Mom, and you'll have to attest to this. Rusty got the worst luck with the injuries. Were you hobbling around? Remember, we had to go to Flint's show, and I thought I was going to have to throw you over my shoulder because it was right at the far end of Cowboy Christmas, and you were on.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
2016 when my leg was. Yeah.
Yeah, he's had his fair share for sure. We hope he's had enough
for all of us.
For everybody.
Yeah.
We'll just end.
I just had to get him out of the way.
Yeah,
got him out of the way. That's right. Ryder, what about you? Did you ride bulls?
Yeah, I rode bulls all through high school. I went to a few pro rodeos on my permit.
Yeah.
And your permit
junior
year,
high national champ.
Okay.
Yes, and I think, didn't you win your first 3 rodeos in the bull riding on your permit?
No, I rode, I think, 1 out of the 3.
Did you win the bronc riding in your first 3 rodeos? I thought you were cleaning house on your permit. Yeah. Okay.
And Stetson, what made you stick with riding bulls? Like not strictly going to the bronc riding, just something different, or you like both of them?
Oh, I'll tell you why.
Okay, perfect.
Because we told him not to.
Yeah.
I had better luck in the bull riding when I got in PRCA.
He had more confidence in the bull riding.
Yeah. And now I am obsessed with it.
Oh, cool.
You know, I had a lot of talks with your mom about you riding bulls, and I tried to tell her, like, I've watched a lot of bull riding in my life, and I'm like, he's really good at it, Mom. I think you're gonna have to, like, he rides the one you used to post. You guys do a great job on your social media, by the way. I rarely have to text to see how you're doing because you're always posting, which is great. But some of them bulls you had, you know, those high school bulls, remember, Tanner, getting on them pieces of shit, you know, dragging their ass around, and they're the hard ones to ride. They're not helping you. And you know, it kind of took me to when did you get on smokestack? Round 9? Yep. Round 8? Round 9?
9.
That's about as good a bull ride away from your hand as you're gonna watch anywhere. And I go back to those videos watching those bulls you were getting on 3-4 years ago that had a big old hole in the well there, and you could stay out of there so nicely. So Mom, I think it's a good thing we kept him going in the bull ride.
Yeah, I guess.
But how is it? I know you get nervous watching your boys. Obviously, that's just natural being a mom and whatnot. Does that ramp up in the bull riding event though? Is it more about the bull riding, or is it more about what's at stake when it comes down to round 8, 9, and 10 for you?
It's just the safety. I just worry about the safety. Not that the bronc riding isn't as scary, because it is.
Yeah, Jake had the wreck last year, wasn't it? That was terrible. Just getting off on the pickup, man, too.
Bulls try to hurt you. I don't feel like broncs really do, but I honestly don't really worry too much, like, oh, I hope they win, I hope they win, I hope they win. I just feel like
that's my job.
That's your job. Mine is I hope they're safe. If they buck off, he's healthy. On to the next one. So
yeah. Unfortunately, you don't ride them all. So there's that heartache always of them getting bucked off. But yeah, you know, in my line of work up here, producing PBR events, yeah, you want to see guys stay on, and you want to see them get off safely. Like, yeah, you have that every ride. That's you know, that's how you look at it. And they're not even my kids, so I couldn't imagine how that can go for you sometimes. How does you guys? I don't know if everybody knows that you got a little sister too, Lily Jo. How does she do during the events watching? Does she get pretty nervous too?
She gets crazy. Yes.
Yeah, she's the number one fan.
Oh yeah, she gets very into it and nervous. Like she's very into it.
And I guess you boys better start winning, because I understand she wants a barrel horse, which means a brand new dually trailer with the nice living quarters all decked out. So are you guys going to sponsor Lily Jo in that endeavor, do you think? Or who's going to pay for that?
She just told Stetson yesterday, or I think it was yesterday, that she wanted a new barrel horse for Christmas.
Damn right. You guys can afford it now.
Yeah, we'll see if Santa really exists in Beaver, Utah on the 25th. I'll be circling back with you on that.
It won't happen.
Do you think it was an accident that we didn't marry somebody that rodeoed?
No, not at all.
Cody too. I don't do horses.
You're preaching to the choir right here. Neither of us married a barrel racer either.
No, good call, boys. Yep.
No, my wife come from a big rodeo family and really didn't have anything to do with it until she met me. So I like it that way. No, I tested a few in the day, and I didn't know. That wasn't the way I wanted to go.
That's funny. Hey, so you guys, I seen Stetson, I think on your Instagram, that you were talking, you had a picture with Kai Hamilton in the picture with you, and you're talking about him being a brother alongside with you guys. Do you guys travel together? Do you guys travel with other people, or is it just the three of you that go down the road together, or your dad or your uncles, or how does your travel and regiments work? Is it you three hitting the trail together, or is there other people involved?
Me and Ryder go together. I can only travel with one guy because I do 2 events, and then Rusty goes with Spencer.
Yeah, they've wrote the buddy system kind of split us up because Stetson can only have one traveling partner. If that wasn't the rule, us 3 and then Spencer would probably go together. But
so you guys can't enter with each other because he's in another event. I didn't know that. Is that a new rule?
No.
Holy smokes. I didn't know that at all. So it splits the boys up.
The PBR guys get spoiled. You just know where you're going. You're going to one spot in the weekend.
We don't even fucking enter. We don't even enter.
You just go.
You just show up. Yeah. Yeah, I guess
Well,
I didn't think of that, all the rules, and there's a lot of different stuff that comes into play when you're rodeo. And I guess which now could get to my next question, Stetson. The PBR side of it, we seen you go to that team deal that they had in Vegas. Is that something that you want to pursue at some point as a PBR goal, PBR World Championship, or do you like the rodeo side of it of doing the two events, or what's your kind of thoughts for the near future of where you want to go?
I've always wanted to go over there and win the world, but I don't know what's going to happen. I guess I'll play by ear.
Yeah, see,
I know it's gonna happen, but if it's up to Cody and his agent, I know what he's gonna do for a few years. Let's keep doing what he's doing. But
yeah, you can't knock it. It was like all those years that everybody was knocking Sage for not going over to the PBR and saying that, you know, he should be going over there. And like in reality of it, I mean, what's the point of switching over there when you're making that much money rodeo? And I was always on his side of you can't, you know, don't mess up a good thing, like you said earlier, Rusty. There's no point in, yeah, you can make a lot of money over there, but when you're making that much money doing what you're doing, it's pretty hard to switch up. But there is guys that do both sides of it, so maybe that could be something to look at. I think that'd be pretty wear and tear on your body, but you know, I think
my dad's always told me I could be good at both but not great at both.
Yeah.
Did you tell him that's a lie on Sunday night or Saturday night?
You know who I am. You know who I am.
No,
both
associations.
I got you. Okay, fair enough. And I find that, like, Dale and Swearingen, perfect example, just missed the cut for the national finals rodeo again this year, and he probably wouldn't have been able to compete. They almost had to carry him out of the arena. At the
it wears you out,
stadium.
man. That's too many animals this way. You know, like
it's a grind.
Proctor
the travel,
did it.
It just Proctor. Who else? Somebody else.
Bo
Hill did it. Hill did it a couple times.
Yeah.
But he just said,
Boudreaux did it this year. Boudreaux did it this year. He went to both finals, but this year would have been different because there wasn't near as many events on each side. But in a normal year, that's a lot of bovine, a lot of horses, you know, to get on, and you know, that's a lot of risk on wearing out your body to try to do all of it, which it'd be cool, but you know, you got to kind of think of the future and the longevity of it. But I guess that's totally you, right?
I had a phone call with Stetson yesterday, which was Monday. So we're talking 48 hours after he just got on 20 of the rankest livestock at the NFR there. And I asked him if he was sore. He goes, "No, I feel good." And I'm like, all right, it must be good to be young again.
Yeah.
How about you other boys? How you feeling after the NFR? I know gold buckles make everything feel better and all that prize money and go around wins, but you guys, would you be ready for another 10 this week?
I would.
Yeah.
I was ready. Every year we say we're ready for 10 more. I was sore at after the third round, I think, and then it went away, and I felt like where I just got to getting in the groove, and then it's over.
Yeah.
You want 10 more.
So when we understand Denver's canceled, how's 2021 looking for you boys so far? I'm sure Mom's going to appreciate having you guys. Actually, before I get into 2021, Mom, did you enjoy having the boys around a little more in 2020?
I did, actually. I mean, I told Cody, I know it's a lot of, oh, this year's terrible, but I loved having them home. I know their families loved having them home, and we're all right here together. So, you know, and you have to kind of quarantine from people the best you can, but we had a lot of family time, so I loved it.
Well, and you did a great job. I know we spoke prior to the NFR. You had the boys quarantining at home because they were gonna test all the contestants. Then we ended up canceling all the we didn't have a bunch of appearances booked, but that was good. that was really good. I thought you managed the boys well that way. You guys make sure you listen to your mom always. She always has the best advice for you guys.
We don't really have an option.
How was it at the
why,
NFR?
Tanner, this is why I wanted ShaRee on. I'm telling you, she's the
that's
boss.
good. I like it. Yeah, that's good. How was it? Speaking of that, with all the regulations and COVID and whatnot at Globe Life Field, I seen that you guys would always have to put your masks on as soon as you got out of the arena. Was there fines and rules and everything on top of it, or what did they explain to you guys about the masks?
I never had anything. They told us to wear the masks, and then they said they told you to put it on, you did whatever. There could be $1,000 fine or whatever. But I don't know. It's better to just follow the rules, and that's what we did. And so we never got. It was actually not that bad. The mask stunk after you rode because you sweat and it stinks. But that was the worst part about it. I really didn't even mind it too much.
I think Ryder got some comments on, didn't you, Ryder, on social media about why are you wearing a mask?
Yeah, I had some people not very happy with me that I was wearing a mask, but it was either wear the mask or not compete, and that was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Stetson, how come did you just forget to take your mask off a couple nights, or are you just trying to look like the outlaw Josie Wales?
The road ride really makes me nervous, and I kept forgetting to take it off. And then, who kept telling me to take it off?
Well, your friends at Wrangler loved it because it was all over the Cowboy Channel
and
everyone's home. So it was a good promo. God, now I got to start. I'm going to have to sell a mask endorsement for you guys. That could be a lucrative deal.
Hopefully this goes away.
Yeah, hopefully we don't need masks.
We're with you. We want to see you guys all at Calgary. This is the first time I used to be able to see you guys at Calgary and the NFR, and I did look at coming to Dallas, but there's not near the flights anymore. It was not easy to get there. So we sure hope, I understand the Calgary Stampede's got a few plans in place. I hope there's not a bunch of quarantine rules in July and you guys can come so we can go out for dinner or do something again for sure. I got to ask Ryder a question, the Iceman there in the back. Your NFR from 2020 to 2019 was a complete turnaround. Knowing your mom and your dad and how competitive you are and just, you just win, especially at the NFR, you're kind of you just like winning go-arounds, just winner. It's kind of win or nothing. But what was the difference for you, do you think, from last year's NFR where you really struggled just even staying on horses? I hate to say it, but that was the fact. Staying on horses to place in a 9 out of 10 rounds. And really the only reason you didn't 40% them in all the rounds was you just didn't have enough horse with womanizer there. But what was the difference?
Oh, shoot. I don't know.
I know I'm going to make you talk here. I'm sorry, buddy.
Rusty's pointing to his head.
Well, maybe we should. Rusty, you're kind of the team captain here, aren't you?
I just use my words.
Yeah. Well, what do you think it was? You know your brother better than anyone.
I think it was mental. Because he had the ability, just as much ability last year, and he already won a world title.
Exactly.
It's a lot of pressure on you when you go to the NFR, and you can put more pressure on yourself, not even meaning to, but because he's expected to ride good now. And that's kind of it can get to you. And this year, like you said, he had ice running through his veins. When he leaned back in the bucking chutes, you knew whatever he was going to get on was about to get raked.
Well, I talked to you because I didn't. Was the horse you had in the final round, Ryder? That horse hadn't been out all week, had he?
Yeah.
She did go, or
Alan Bohr had it.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure about that. And I remember I text Rusty because I can always get a reply from Rusty. It's either ShaRee or Rusty. I know I always get a reply from, and your brother's coming. Just like Ryder is going to be a bunch. Like, when I knew Rusty was happy about the draw, it made me feel a little bit, better, because I'm not going to lie. I was, I'm doing the math and I know what you got to do. It wasn't one until you nodded your head and did what you had to do. So it was quite a turnaround, I'd say, for you there, Iceman, from one year to the next. If it was in your head, it sure wasn't in your head this year, because I I honestly, I'd like to know if there's been a less flawless performance in 10 days in one event. Like that was unreal.
There hasn't because he shattered the average record. The average record was 8:48.5, I think, on 10 head, and Ryder was 8:72 or something.
Okay,
Oh, shit. That was this year?
872. Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
Well, I knew that you were a full horse ahead of Wyatt, and he had to be like 97, even if you fell off, to tie you in the average.
Oh, wow.
He couldn't, he could have fell off and still won the average. But I don't think that wins you the world, though, does it?
No.
It would have.
It would have still.
Yeah, just because Wyatt didn't place.
Right.
Oh yeah, we had all the scenarios drawn up at our cabin up there at Echo Bay. I'll tell you, I was stressing a little bit.
Rusty doesn't need to draw it up. He's got numbers in.
I didn't go to bed till like 4:00 in the morning the night before the 10th round because I was seeing what had to be done. Made me look sick.
He's done this since NFR 2003 with his dad.
Wow.
He would sit with those programs, day sheets, and he tallied up, and this guy has to do this, and dad has to do this, and he still does it. He just doesn't need the book anymore.
Yeah.
He's got it all in his head.
Okay, that's good to know. Rusty, tell me then, which NFR do you think your dad should have won, or do you even want to go there?
2007.
Okay, what happened?
What's that?
What happened?
A judge missed him out.
Yeah. And that cost him the world title.
Cost him the world, yeah, because it was between Rod Hay or my dad. Rod Hay bucked off. My dad missed his horse out, and then Tao. So that was his rookie year.
Oh, when he's 20, he won it, eh? Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I got a question for you then. There's been a lot of controversy on the internet.
I was just going to go here. I know where you're going.
Of the markout rule in itself. There's a bunch of people all over Twitter and a bunch of keyboard warriors, obviously, but I mean, it's still a good conversation to have. The markout rule, where do you guys stand on it? Do you think that it's a good rule? Do you think it should be ex-nate out from the rules? It has nothing to do with the saddle bronc riding, or what do you guys think on that?
I think it's a good thing to have when it's judged the same all the way across the board, with the same with every person.
But it's not.
And it's not that I don't think the judges are doing it on purpose.
Right.
That's a lot to see. It's hard to see,
Fast.
and it's really fast. Like your feet.
That's why they need that
Replay.
Mhm. If
Yeah.
they're gonna have a markout rule, they need to have a replay.
Yeah, that's one thing. The PBR, especially for that kind of money, I agree 100% with you, Mom. But you know what? And I felt the rodeo run a little longer in Dallas than it did in Las Vegas. Was that me, or did it? It did.
No, it did.
There's no way that Las Vegas events is going to let you guys hit a buzzer for a replay and take 2 minutes when every contestant could do it. Even if you did it like the PBR, where it costs you $500 if you lose but with that kind of money and that much stuff on the line, I agree that
It has to be.
rules.
Yeah, there's no way. That's
Yeah.
millions. That's a difference in hundreds of thousands up to millions of dollars for people to win in their careers that
Right.
could be missed, or it could go either way, right? A guy misses them out and they don't catch it, and the guy after him maybe is close and they get him, right? It's not. It needs to have the replay, in my opinion, if that rule is going to be in there.
It's cost. The markout rules cost. This right off the top of my head, I could think of it. Just the Wright family, 4 world titles.
Yeah.
And
Whoa.
it's
2018 for Ryder, a missed horse, right?
that was me.
That was Rusty.
And
Yeah.
19.
Rusty left.
Yeah, that was
Rusty.
Rusty.
19
Yeah.
and 18.
Yep.
Rusty. Well, I'll tell you what, Butch Knowles was bragging on your guys' markouts all week long. Is that something that you consciously worked on, or did you guys from last year to this year? He talked about it on more than one occasion on how strong your markouts. Is that something you guys really focused on?
I did personally.
Yeah.
Try to make it not questionable, not leave it up to the judges.
Nice answer. Nice
But
answer.
it wasn't just 1 year overnight. We've been working on it since
It started.
forever, but we were doing the 1 jump markout thing, and
'Cause
that's
is
what the rule book
says.
reads. But then they started throwing flags, so
You have to hold them for 2, even though the rule is 1.
We don't
Okay.
have to, but to take the question out of the
Right.
judge's mind.
Right.
You need to.
And that hurts your neck and your back.
And it's not only us.
It's not only us. There's lots of guys that have, like Jacobs Crawley in 2017 in the 10th round. His horse took a scoot out in the arena, took a jump, then he brought his feet and they missed him out. It was like, it's just, like I said, it's a lot for them to see them horses' feet hit the ground. See if your feet are still there. If you stand back as far as them judges are standing, you still can't see all that.
Yeah.
It's like not possible unless it's
Anything human judged is.
Yeah, you're right. I agree.
Yeah,
I
a matter
agree.
of opinion. Yeah, 100%. Okay, I
So
got a question. Oh,
Okay,
Jason,
go
you
ahead,
go ahead.
Ken. Well, I just wanted to ask Mom what she's done with all those Calgary Stampede bronzes that she's got.
They're in my
Up
house.
on the wall.
Here, yeah.
Are they? Oh, wait. Well, maybe we'll have to do an episode of Cribs.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a Cribs episode, and I'm gonna have a tour.
Except now Cody's crib and Stetson's crib are together. So
That's one of my questions. What would the NFP podcast audience be surprised to know about you? And this is to Stetson, that I live with my parents in my house.
it's his favorite thing.
Yeah,
Don't let him fool you.
Yeah, no kidding. Your laundry is always done and supper's always made, I bet. Not a bad gig.
That's one thing about you guys, obviously, is very, very family orientated. We could see it through the brothers. For those that don't know, there's a bunch of uncles and dad, and there's a whole group of you guys that are all professional athletes. And is that kind of something that you guys always focus on is family first? I know all three of you guys, right, are young guys, and you have young families of your own, right? Is that something that maybe, Mom, that you've put into the boys is to have a family and start your own family and, you know, always be together? Is that something that you always push for the boys?
Well, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't have family, you know, really, if you don't have family there to enjoy all that with, it's just not the same. And Cody's comes from a huge family. I come from a big family. It's just how we've always been. We always are with family, and it's just most important. And I mean, that's not saying we don't annoy each other and get on each other's nerves and, you know, do that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it is the most important. So I think they grew up with that.
In the right environment. They grew up in the right environment. Like Evelyn said in one of her the Yeti video, like, Utah is such a great place to raise kids, and she's not even trying to sell it. You could tell she was convinced when she said it.
Yeah.
So like Christmas is just coming next week, week and a half away. What do you guys rent the town hall to get everybody in for a meal, or how do you do it?
Literally.
we take over the church, actually.
Yeah.
Or the
And then do you do the cooking there, or does everybody is it a big potluck?
potluck.
Okay, now you guys obviously have to communicate that, because not everybody could show up with dessert, or I wouldn't be disappointed, but if everybody showed up with a jelly salad, that would be a disappointing dinner. So How do you decide who makes the turkey and who does the potatoes?
Cody's mom, when we do it with the Wright family, Cody's mom just she says, I'm doing this, you guys can bring whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
She cooks a banana cream pie.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the best.
It is the best. Like, seriously, she should sell it. It's that good.
Oh, that's good.
Okay,
Okay.
come down. I'm going to come down. A lot of people don't understand how scenic the country is where you live. I actually have a player that plays for the Vegas Golden Knights, and he just got engaged to his longtime girlfriend up at is Zion? Is that how I would say it?
Zion.
Zion. Yeah, that's where he proposed to her a month ago. And I'm like, no shit. I said, well, I got a family right near, because your guys' land is right up in the park, or borders the park?
Borders.
Borders the park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's kind of
And I
Yeah,
wanted
it's
to take
kinda
an opportunity here. It's talking about your land. If any of our listeners has not give this a read, John Branch, I had the pleasure of meeting John with you guys at the NFR one year, and he's a Pulitzer Prize winning author. Obviously, a lot of our Canadian audience is very familiar with hockey. He wrote The Boy on Ice, which was about a Saskatchewan kid that basically lost his life due to concussions and just mismanagement of lifestyle, basically. So anyway, that book and some of the stories I need to ask, well, let's start with the prologue. When Cody was 5 years old on his horse Paleface, he was riding, they were going to cross the Virgin River. Is that right? The Virgin River, is that what's down there?
Yeah.
Okay. And Bill had always preached to him, and that's the boy's grandpa here. Always stay with your horse, because that river came up and down with the time of day. And I guess the river swept Cody away. And anyway, Bill found him downstream. And how it kind of ends in the last paragraph is Bill come in the house and told Evelyn, I got it right here. I about lost your boy in the river tonight. And that was all that was said. Is that kind of how it goes most days on the Wright Ranch? Because that is some Western shit right there.
Sadly, that is about another day in the life.
So, I'm concerned about how you watch your boys sometimes, Mom, but geez, sending them out with Grandpa Bill, wasn't that a concern at times?
You have no idea.
He's softened up when we come around.
He's a lot softer. He's
you-
actually a big old teddy bear, but
If you can tell in the book and just watching everybody, my dad's the most cowboy of all of the rides. So, besides my Grandpa Bill, and that's why my dad is the way that he is.
Right.
He's tough as nails.
Well, I give it to my dad for Christmas, and then my uncle read, like, they started reading and didn't put it down. I think John did a great job. Like, you feel like you're there. And one of these days, I know we've set your land and your ranch up as a backdrop for some commercials. Wrangler, we watched it every night on the Wrangler network or on the Cowboy Channel. The Wrangler team came over and shot you guys, and that's what I've always pitched to some of these companies. I'm like, what are you hiring models for? Just take a spin out to the Wright Ranch and just follow them around for a day. And if you can't find any footage, I'll pay the bill. I'll tell you, there's going to be something that you're going to be able to make work for an audience. It just, the terrain with the horses is a little concerning. Do you guys still take those same trails that Bill's lost a couple horses on? No, new trails now?
The one where he did trail rides?
No, well, he talks about how going to bring the cows in, there's a couple trails he had to go to get the cows. Yeah, and he never had a couple horses come back. You guys don't, or you guys kind of lean in with one foot out of the stirrup on the right side of the horse.
That's how when you're following my Grandpa Bill or my dad anywhere through the mountains, through the trees, you don't have your feet in your stirrups. You're ready to jump off.
Really?
Yeah.
that's why I don't go.
Yeah. Tanner, you got to read the book. It's
Yeah,
good
no
stuff.
shit. Yeah.
And you guys ride in and camp too, correct?
Yeah, when we hunt.
Yeah.
When we go hunting. These guys don't go.
I hold the house down.
But that's my favorite
True
thing.
bull rider right there. I like that.
That's my favorite time of the year is October, when we pack up the mountain, and I bought a wall tent and we take it up there and stay for, most of the time we have to come down a couple times, but 2 weeks we go up there and stay.
Wow.
2 weeks, eh?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
So obviously you guys are like, for people that don't know, that they're kind of outsiders or not in the rodeo world or anything like that, obviously saddle bronc riders, but before that, cowboys through and through, right? Cattle ranchers. Is that that's what you guys do outside of the rodeo arena?
not as much as my dad, or Ryder does it probably more than,
Yeah,
or out of
Ryder
us
does it
three.
most.
I really like to hunt. I mean, if they need help, I'll go help them or whatever,
But they grew up cowboy.
Yeah,
That's what they've always done. Yeah.
Yeah. So Stetson, what do you do? What do you do outside of the arena, like when you're not on the road or when you're not rodeoing?
I go feed my bulls, and then whenever I can, I go over to the guy's house that bucks calves and stuff. Go help him sometimes.
so nothing. He doesn't do anything.
I do everything that's fun to
Typical
me.
bull rider, Tanner.
Yeah,
He's
like
the
bull
fun
run,
lover.
baby. Yeah, that's good. Well, when you make, what are you probably up to close to $1 million in earnings already on your 21,
21
22 when do you
Yeah.
turn 22?
July.
In July, I turned 22.
Oh, wow.
So that's a pretty solid pat on the back to do whatever the heck you want to do, I would say.
He agrees.
Yeah. Ryder, what about you? What do you do outside of the rodeo arena?
I like to help my dad and grandpa with the cows, and I kind of got into breaking horses the past year. I like to start colts and stuff.
Cool. And for people that don't know, you guys spend in a normal rodeo season, how much are you on the road, like days wise, out of the 365 days out of the year? What do you guys think?
Over 200.
Yeah.
More than 200 days on the road. So there's really not much time for spare time. And then I guess when you're home, it's more just trying to spend time with your family. As I said earlier, you guys are young guys, but you have wives and kids of your own and families of your own as well. So busy boys, huh? Wow.
It's
Oh, Jason on the phone.
Sorry, guys. Yeah. No. I'm talking to him right now. How much?
yeah.
So, Mom, I got to ask you this. Obviously, you've had a lot of opportunity with, like I said, Wrangler coming to the ranch, Stetson hats coming, doing photo shoots at the ranch. Your boys have never changed from the day I met them to the. Sorry,
Yeah.
they've never met, or you're gonna have to edit this, Tanner.
Fucking turn it off.
Well, I can't. I don't know how.
Oh, we got the rights on the show. Come on.
I know, damn it. Okay, I'll start that over. We'll edit. We'll cut that and start over. So, Mom, you've had a ton of opportunity with companies like Wrangler, Stetson, hats coming to the ranch and filming you and just in the Western lifestyle, what you do every day. It's got to feel pretty rewarding for you to see that these companies want, they want to use your lifestyle and your boy's image and your husband's image to promote their brands. Like, give me a little bit, like when you sit back and see the cameras around and whatnot, is it a little bit surreal, or are you surprised by it? How does it make you feel?
Well, first it makes I'm proud. I'm proud of the people they are, because honestly, if they weren't good people, I don't care how successful they are. I just feel like people don't really care.
Yeah.
So as a mom, I'm proud of that, but they still are my little boys, and it's weird that people do look up to them like they do. It's weird, but it's super neat, and I love that they're such good people and have good values for others to look up to. So yeah, makes me proud.
Well, and like I said, your boys, they haven't. Rusty, the first time I met you, Rusty, at the Calgary Stampede, you're still the same. You're still the same kid. You haven't let any of this go to your head. You guys carry yourselves in such a manner that it's contagious. People want to be around. You know what I missed the most this year, and you guys probably didn't, but was Cowboy Christmas. And the line snaked around all these other booths to get to you guys at the Wrangler autograph signing.
I missed it.
Yeah. You did miss it?
I did, just because I thought it was going to be nice having nothing, nothing to do, and it gave me way too much time to think about stuff. I like going, and it takes your mind off of the rodeo for a little bit out of the day instead of laying around worrying about it.
Mom, we got to get back to the drawing board. Remember, we thought
Listen,
after
I don't.
last year's NFR, this is the truth. After last year's NFR, ShaRee and I talked that it was too much, and it was. You guys had a lot, and everybody was wanting a piece of Stetson in the desert, or this interview, or this. I don't. Stetson's young enough; he just lapped it all up. Obviously, he's got so much damn energy, but we talked about it. There's just too much, and maybe we need to have a couple down days. So that's something we'll have to discuss before we put next year's schedule together. But really, all you had this year was some social media stuff, and then that if you recall at the bottom of the schedule, what did I put for every day?
Bottom of the schedule. Win.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you guys listened real
Wow,
well.
good pep talk, Jason.
It worked. You don't have to.
That's why you guys are so good, because Jason fucking
Jason
told you to
told
win.
us
Yeah.
That's funny. No, it is cool. And you're talking about the busyness and the people wanting your autographs and wanting to be around you, and that comes with the territory of being the baddest cats in the game. And I'm sure you guys have seen the PBR side of the JB Moonies and Justin McBrides, and when we were at events, you'd always let those guys walk out first because the fans would swarm them, and then you could go wherever you wanted to go to. Right? There's the hot commodities in the game, and you guys are that in the rodeo world, like without a doubt, Jason. And it's got to be pretty cool as you guys, as young guys that grew up watching your dad and all your idols in the game be those stars of the show. Now you guys have that. How do you kind of handle that pressure when you first came into the game? Also, when you have a lot of shoes to fill with your uncles and your dad, and everybody expects you to be so great. How is that something that? How did you guys manage that, or did you just kind of go about your business, or how did you step up to the plate and end up being some of the best in the world?
Oh, that's.
Okay, you can toot your own horn here, Rusty, because I know that's not your style. But let's hear it.
Well, really, just like you said, we grew up watching it. It wasn't. I expected it from myself, and when it started happening, I really wasn't that surprised. Sounds cocky, but I watched my dad, the way he handled it, and I kind of had an idea
It's not cocky, Rusty. It's confidence. You have confidence in your ability, and you just walk the walk. You guys just do it when you nod your head.
If one of us feels like the other one's getting too cocky, we bring him down real fast.
Yeah.
It's usually me. They usually kick me.
Well, I feel like Statler has no choice, but like, look at who he has to look up to, and the shoes he's got to fill.
He's going to be dangerous.
I think he's going to be. He had to wait a long time.
Yeah.
And he's capitalized on his weight. I think he's going to be outstanding.
And what does Statler do? What events? Obviously saddle bronc riding, but
that's
it.
That's it. He's
he threatens to ride bulls or bareback, but I tell him
he's too tall.
I'm the one that enters you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where Mom comes in again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ought to see him, Jason. You probably follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
But you got to see his how far he's come just from this spring till now. It's bullshit's what it is, because it took me forever to get there, and he's already spurring down we got a horse that's been in the NFR. They've won rounds on that. He's spurring down like he could win a round at the NFR on it.
Well, in all fairness, Rusty, I think, how old were you when your dad let you get on a real bronc for the first time?
I was a sophomore in high school, so I was 15 or 16, 15.
Okay, what about you, Ryder?
I think it's 14.
What about you, Stats?
I was 14 or 15.
I was 11.
Yeah.
Rusty started when it.
Rusty
he
started
just went straight
on
to
broncs.
horses.
Okay.
And then me and Ryder went
You
to
guys
steers.
rode steers with a bronc saddle, right? Gotcha.
I was a test dummy.
My dad
Yeah.
figured out a better way to each kid, and then it came with
Yeah,
Statler.
and that's
And
kind of
then
where
The
That's
ticket
where I
for
was going.
Statler is to hold off. No rush, no rush.
Yeah.
Well, that's
That
how
was
we were
Cody's.
with that boy beside you right there. Remember how bad he wanted to go, and just he was buying his PBR card, and he was
Oh,
phoning
yes.
me and wondering where he could get in and enter, and I was trying to get him to Canada because we could always use some badasses up here, and I didn't think it was. I told you guys both. I said he's in good hands if he comes here. Just get him to my place. I'll look after him. But I just don't know if I'd want to be sending my 18-year-old kid to a different country to ride bulls either.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess if we're kind of getting down to it now, we can start to wrap up. We've had a good chat on everything. Jason, you got any more questions for the boys or for Mama?
Well, I wanted to talk about the goat here for a minute. I know he's really into his cattle dogs. So I'm just curious, do you guys think he's more committed to those cattle dogs now than he was to his bronc ride?
Than he was to his bronc riding?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I think he's obsessed. Well, anyone that knows Cody knows if he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it 110%. And
Like with not just what he does, anything. Like if he likes a drink,
he 110%.
110%. If he likes a restaurant, when we were rodeo, my rookie year, and
That's where you go to eat.
yeah, like he got on a anything. It was like let's say IHOP, and we ate there until none of us could stomach it anymore.
Subway.
And then we'd move on.
But he's like that with his dogs now.
He's a creature of habit. That's
Yes.
fine. And his loyalty, it's all paid off because he's planted that in you guys. So, well, thank you so much. I know you guys are busy, and I know, Mom, you and I know how hard it is to organize a group of your family together at one time. This close to following the NFR and Christmas right around the corner. Thanks for taking the time, you guys. I want you to know, Tanner was texting me every night. The support that like your Canadian family has for you, watching you all week. It truly wasn't. It was inspiring. It was awesome. You guys carried yourselves in such a manner that you deserve to be world champions. Nothing's ever been given to you. You've worked for it, and you're tremendous role models at a young age. And Mom, that's a tip of the hat. Speaking of my right Western hat, which our audience will be able to see those in January, February. But tip of the hat to you and Cody for raising such great kids. And I'm going to leave it with, I talked to one of your sponsors, and they just were so happy that you kids are the same kids they signed 3 and 4 years ago, and you've won all these gold buckles and all these go around since, and you're still those same kids. So that means a lot. And I'm going to let Tanner finish it off with his usual question for the end of the #NFP podcast.
You're darn right. Yeah, like Jason said, I'll echo it again. Just very appreciative that you guys, after setting records, doing what you were just able to do, all of you at the NFR, taking the time to come on this show and chat with us and give everybody a little bit of an insight on who you guys are. It means a lot to us, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot of great feedback of chatting with the coolest family in rodeo. My last question, this is the NFP podcast. You've been with Jason for a long time. What does #NFP mean to you?
I mean,
Like, what does it literally mean?
No,
like, what
we
does
know what it
mean?
literally means. The essence of it.
It to me, it's like the cowboy way. You can't go out half-hearted. You can't. I'm not gonna say it, but I'm not gonna say it.
No, that's fine.
I think you've made your point. That's good.
Yeah.
The audience will know. What about Iceman there in the back?
I feel the same.
Ditto. Yeah.
I love it. I love those. All the NFR interviews too is just right to the point. Just game on. I'm here for one reason only. And that's to kick ass and take names.
Yeah.
Stop talking to me. I'm just gonna win the world. Look out.
And I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Marshawn Lynch. Yeah.
That's
Stetson, what's your version.
Means to be a badass cowboy.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Cool.
What
Hey,
about you,
Russ,
Mom? Do you have any comment?
No, I'm just here.
I do have one more thing to say. We got to thank Jason for a lot, because like Ryder, I can brag about Ryder and Stetson all day. I could be their agent, but I can't do it for me. And that's what, Jason is, that I really appreciate how you can go out and sell us, because we wouldn't be able to do it ourselves. And
Yeah, we owe everything to you.
yeah,
No. You know what? It's real easy. You guys, I'm super proud of you. I really am. Like, when you guys win, it's the greatest feeling in the world. That you made Saturday night, 2020 has been a shitty year. We can all admit that. But I'll tell you what, that was the bright spot in 2020 for our family, for you guys. So that's just the impact you guys have on people. And if you keep doing what you're doing and carrying yourselves the way you are, you will inspire so many young kids, even though you're kids yourselves, to, you're so good for rodeo. And rodeo needs a shot in the arm, like your family, ShaRee. They really do. So congratulations again. And Morgan and Cheyenne, thank you, girls. You were so much help to keep your boys organized. I honestly couldn't do it without you, Mom. You are my assistant GM. You do a great job, and I truly mean it. I brag about how I can't do it without you. So, Stetson, you get on the way and see that little girl today, and travel safe. And we'll be talking to you guys all soon here, or right before Christmas. Happy holidays.
All
Yeah,
right,
that's
same to you
great.
guys.
Thank you guys very much.
See ya.
thank
See you
you
later.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.